I see it every semester. A student walks into my class, opens their laptop, and before they write a single line of code, I already know their personality. VS Code? You're practical. Vim? You're either a genius or a masochist. Notepad? We need to have a serious conversation. I'm an IT professor, and today I'm going to tell you what your IDE says about you and why your choice reveals more about your coding personality than you might think. We're going through the most popular editors and what they say about the people who use them. Some of these might surprise you. If you use VS Code, you're the kind of person who wants control but not too much. You love customization, but in a click-to-install kind of way. Your workspace has 10 tabs open, a linter screaming in the corner, Copilot writing half your code, and you're still Googling how to center a div. You don't have one theme, you have a rotating mood board that changes depending on the project, the weather, and your emotional state. VS Code users represent the vast majority of developers, and there's a reason for that. It hits the sweet spot between power and accessibility. You can start coding in minutes, but spend months tuning it to perfection. However, here's what I tell my students: don't let the extensions do the thinking for you. VS Code is a tool, and the best craftsmen understand their tools deeply. Know what each extension does. Learn the keyboard shortcuts. Customize your settings.json by hand at least once. That's how you go from a casual user to someone who truly masters their development environment. If you're rolling with IntelliJ or anything from JetBrains, you are a serious developer. You write Java, Kotlin, Scala, or something else that scares junior developers. You didn't choose IntelliJ. IntelliJ emerged fully formed from the enterprise dimension and whispered, "Come, let me refactor that for you." You believe in static typing, design patterns, and paying for software that respects your time. You don't just commit code, you architect it. When someone suggests using a lightweight editor, you laugh in JVM. My students who graduate and land corporate jobs almost always end up here eventually. The JetBrains suite is expensive, but it pays for itself in productivity gains. The refactoring tools alone can save you hours every week. But I always remind my students, IntelliJ is powerful, but don't let it become a crutch. You should still understand what's happening under the hood. Know your build system, know your dependencies, and understand why IntelliJ suggests what it does. Then there's Vim. If you use Vim, I respect you and I also fear you. You operate purely from muscle memory, like a martial artist who trains in complete darkness. You don't use a mouse because it breaks your flow. Every single action has a keyboard shortcut, and you know them all. Your entire coding experience is basically an extreme sport where every keystroke serves a purpose. You've spent hours configuring your .vimwork and called it a productive day. Nobody taught you Vim, you were summoned by it through some mysterious calling. Here's what I tell my students about Vim: learning the basics is absolutely worth your time. Even if you never go full Vim, knowing how to navigate efficiently, jumping between words, editing in place, using visual mode will make you faster in any editor. The Vim extension is the most installed plugin in VS Code for a reason. Vim teaches you that efficiency isn't about typing speed. It's about reducing the friction between having a thought and executing it. If Vim is the cult of key bindings, Emacs is an entire religion with its own operating system. If you use Emacs, you don't just code, you create an environment. You've probably written your own Emacs extensions in Lisp because why use something someone else built when you can build your own? You don't just open files, you open entire ecosystems. Need a calendar? Emacs. Need to check your email? Emacs. Need to read RSS feeds? There's a package for that. Emacs isn't just an editor, it's a philosophical commitment to radical customizability. You're the kind of person who hears "just use a GUI" and responds with 300 lines of a Lisp. Here's what I genuinely admire about Emacs users: they understand that software should adapt to the user, not the other way around. That philosophy alone, that you should be able to reshape your tools to fit the shape of your mind, is worth studying even if you never write a single line of Emacs Lisp in your life. Let's pour one out for Eclipse. If you're still using Eclipse, you didn't start with Eclipse, Eclipse started with you. You probably had to use it in college or because your tech lead refuses to upgrade anything past 2009. You waited 5 minutes for it to open and you stayed anyway. You're a hero. Then there are the real wildcards. Notepad users, I don't know who hurt you, but we're here for you. If you're writing full applications in raw Notepad, you either work for the government or you're legally classified as chaotic neutral. Nano users are usually SSH'd into a production server at 2 in the morning, fixing a live bug with 6 heartbeats per minute and 0 syntax highlighting. And Sublime text users, you still haven't bought a license, have you? That pop-up is basically part of the user interface now. The bottom line here is simple: your IDE doesn't define your worth as a developer. It just reveals how you prefer to work. The best IDE is the one that stays out of your way and lets you focus on solving actual problems. Here's what I tell my students at the end of every lesson about tools. Your IDE is your primary instrument as a developer. Learn it deeply, its shortcuts, its plugins, its quirks, its hidden features. But never confuse the tool with the craft. VS Code, IntelliJ, Vim, Emacs, these are all different paths to the same destination: writing code that works, solving problems that matter, and building things that last. Pick one, master it, and focus on what actually matters: understanding systems, thinking critically, and delivering real value. I'm an IT professor. If this helped you, hit subscribe. Drop a comment: what IDE do you use and why? I read every single one. I'll see you in part 2, where we're going even deeper into the world of code editors.